Assalamualaikum and greetings to everyone and our beloved lecturer Dr. Nur binti Osman. Before I am going to proceed with my group's presentation with the topic given, risk assessment on the impact of coronavirus disease, I would like to introduce myself first. My name is Nur Adibah binti Abdul Mubin.
Hi, my name is Sazzwan and Rahim.
Hi, my name is Tengku Norsalsabilla binti Tg.Ibrahim.
Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Abdul Hakim Adli bin Abdul Majid.
我是 Nur Alif Muhammad Khalid.
The year of 2020 is full of thrill and excitement of achieving and improving to a better world. But how shocking it was, this beautiful year started with the shocking news of outbreak of disease that hit almost of the entire country. COVID-19 is a respiratory infection caused by a new coronavirus first discovered in Hubei province, China, and deemed by the World Health Organization (WHO) to be a public health emergency of international concern. Due to outbreak infection disease being the main cause of illness and death, which hit approximately the whole country, including Malaysia. The infection disease outbreak affects the company, organization, and business in Malaysia, which their day-to-day operation becomes hattled and delayed. When it comes to protecting a company's asset and revenue, risk management involves discovering, evaluating, and responding to potential problems before they become major problems. When a company has an effective risk management program, it is able to assess all of the possible risks that it may be exposed to. As a part of risk management, it is essential to predict, treat, and then manage any perceived risks. There are 5 steps in process of identifying and monitoring potential risks. The first one is identifying the risks, and the second one is evaluating potential risks. The third one is examining alternative risk management techniques. The fourth one is selecting and implementing risk management program, and the final one is evaluating, reviewing, and controlling the risk management program.
Okay, let's moving on to our next point, which is identifying the existing and the potential risks. So, identifying risk is the most important part in the risk management process. So, in every business, the first step they need to do when they want to open a business is to identify the existing and the potential risks. So here shows that risk identification is known to be the process in which the organization is able to know and learn some parts and areas in which it is being exposed to the risk. So the reason why identification techniques are created is to develop all the information on source of hazard, risk, factors of risk, perils, as well as the exposure to the loss. So let's see the existing risk. The existing and the potential risk due to the impact of coronavirus disease 2019. So for the existing risk, we identify 2 types of risk, which is number 1, we have health risk, and number 2, we have unemployment risk. So for the health risk, due to the impact of COVID-19, we identify it is due to the infection of COVID-19 itself, and it resulting for the loss of debt. And for the unemployment risk is due to the termination happen during MCO, movement control order, due to also COVID-19. And the loss of such as unemployment is increasing the rate of unemployment in our country. So for the potential risk, we identify only 1 potential risk, which is the business operation risk. So the business operation risk happen due to the operation disruption because of the rapid spread of the COVID-19. And this risk leads to the excess supply. So here is the three types of risk we managed to identify due to the impact of coronavirus disease 2019.
Now we talk about evaluating risk. There are three potential risks, which is health risk, business operation risk, and unemployment risk. We use method of frequency and severity to evaluate risk. Frequency of health risk is COVID-19 infection because it's increasing because of they might be not following SOP, that because of new variant exists from time to time, and maybe low immunization in their body. Meanwhile, severity that affected of COVID-19 infection is death cases. Death cases is increasing from time to time. The latest update is 31,882 cases for Malaysia and 5.59 million for worldwide cases. Now we move to unemployment risk. Frequency for unemployment risk is termination of workers because of the company facing the bankruptcy, reducing operation costs, and many more. So they need to terminate their workers immediately. And the next is severity that affected of termination of workers. Unemployment rate in worldwide and Malaysia is a rise from time to time. That because and the latest update is in June 2021, the unemployment rate rise to 4.8% with 768.7 thousand people out of work. And the last one is business operation risk. Operational disruption is high frequency in this risk due to because of work from home, no operational business, freeze project, freeze operation because of lockdown and MCO. Meanwhile, excess supply is increasing in severity because of different country from supplier, supplier business was shut down immediately, closed warehouse because of lockdown in other countries or in this country, and many more.
My name is Tg.Ibrahim, and I will explain about the third step in the risk management process, which is examining alternative risk management techniques. Alright, risk management techniques are going to be selected based on whether it is appropriate to be applied to the risks that have been identified. To examine alternative risk management techniques, we need to understand that risk management techniques consist of two types of risk, which is risk control and risk financing. First, risk control consists of four types, which are avoidance, loss control, separation, and contractual transfer. Alright, avoidance means that if someone is afraid of risk, the best way to deal with it is to avoid it completely. Then, loss control can either be affected through loss prevention by reducing the probability of the risk, or loss reduction by minimizing the loss. Separation means that involve the disposal of the firm's asset in several locations instead of confining it to one major area. Then, contractual transfer is legally binding way to transfer risk to the party that may be in the best position to control the risk that is related to the service to be provided. The second one is risk financing. Consists of three types, which are retention, transfer, and hedging. Alright, retention is the company will bear the consequences of the loss. Then, transfer means that is a risk management techniques whereby risk of loss is transferred to another party through contract or to a professional bearer. Then, hedging is a non-correlation investment designed to minimize non-quantified risk. But in this case, of our risk assessment on the impact of corona disease in 2019, we examine that loss control as the alternative risk management techniques. Next, the fourth step in the risk management process is selecting and implementing a risk management program. The business of or organizations should be selecting these techniques based on the potential impact on financial in terms of profitability of the organization or company, and based on the aspect of humanitarian and legal requirements. Based on our risk identification regarding the frequency and severity of risk during COVID-19, all the risks are high frequency and high severity for three existing and potential risks, which are health risks, unemployment risk, and business operation risk. So we are determined to select loss control, which is loss prevention and loss reduction, as risk management techniques, since all the risks mentioned earlier are high frequency and high severity. To recap, loss prevention is an organized effort by a business to reduce all losses of revenue and generally include proactive measures to prevent or abate potential risks. Loss reduction is a loss control activity focusing on reducing the severity of losses. For health risks, there are loss prevention programs that can reduce the frequency of COVID-19 infection. First, practice washing hands with soap and water at the workplace, because hand washing reduces the amount of all types of germs and chemical on hands. Second, employees need to practice on social distancing, which means staying away from others as much as possible at the workplace to help prevent the spread of COVID-19 infections. Third, employees must practice wearing a face mask at the workplace, as face masks limit the volume and travel distance of respiratory droplets dispersed when people talking, breathing, and coughing. A face covering without vents or hole will also filter out particles containing the virus from inhaled and exhaled air, reducing the chances of infection. Then, there are loss reduction programs to reduce the severity of death cases. First, refer to a doctor as soon as possible if the employee seems to have COVID-19 symptoms, so they can acknowledge whether they have disease or not. Second, if the employee is exposed to someone who has COVID-19, let's say, they should be quarantined and not allowed to work outside for 14 days and stay at home so they cannot harm themselves and other people. For unemployment risk, there are loss prevention methods that can reduce the termination. The best method is employees must obey company regulations. Alright, during COVID-19, employers often take these regulations seriously. So, disobeying or disregarding them could mean a strike against employees' records. This method, if employee practicing it, this method can help to reduce employee termination, especially during pandemic. Then, there is also a loss reduction program that business or organizations can reduce the severity of unemployment rate. The best program is for companies and businesses to implement short-time working. Alright, during COVID-19, companies must reduce employee working hour instead of firing people to offer clear benefits to both employees and businesses. So it can offer employees a way to support their incomes despite of shorter work hours. For business operation risk, there are loss prevention programs that business or organization can reduce the operational disruption. Alright, the easiest way is to implement work from home. The employee and the company can still run their business during COVID-19 pandemic to manufacture goods or to provide services to consumers by only using online method. This method or this program can help to prevent any business disruption or shutdown during pandemic. Thus, business can maintain their sales and profit. Then, there are loss reduction to reduce the severity of excess supply. First, increase marketing using social media. During COVID-19, with the implementation of lockdown by the government, people spend almost their time every day at home, scrolling through news feed in their social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, and looking to buy new product and services. Then, when businesses increase the marketing activities in social media platform, consumer will be aware of the company products, right? So they might buy the product, and this can help the business to control the excess of product supply and holding stock for too long.
Next, I will explain about the recommendation. First, we have workforce separation. To control and minimize the risks are considered crucial nowadays. Every organizations need to take responsibility to make the workplace as a safe place by taking an alternative on work arrangement. Therefore, working from home can be an alternative to working to minimize the risk of coronavirus. This concept is not new and has been used a few years back and came to our attention during pandemic due to avoid the increasing the cases of COVID-19. Second, we have social distancing. A way to protect ourselves and others is to physically distance ourselves from the others, which are generally at least we need to 1 feet apart from them or 6 feet apart from others. However, it does not guarantee us from infections, yet it may reduce the percentage to be affected. In the workplace, it requires workers and customers to control the spread of coronavirus, to control their distance with the customer and with the workers. By implementing solid barriers separating from the workers and customer, is able to reduce the risk and expose to possibility of infections. Next, we have saliva self-testing. Self-testing is considered as one of the concepts to manage risk and become the risk-reducing measures. Self-tests are simple to use and produce quick results which can be taken at home or anywhere. Even if we don't have symptoms or haven't been exposed to anyone who been affected by COVID-19, by conducting a self-test can provide us a lot of information and to reduce the risk to prevent the spreading the virus of coronavirus. Last but not least, we have to control the risk. The rapid spread of COVID-19 as well as the uncertain future developments are causing us all anxiety. The coronavirus is distributing business and customer activity in the affected areas and beyond, in addition to its effect on people as well. When handling the risk control, everyone plays the important role to take reasonable action in controlling the risk management. Every action has cause and effect which will make or break the future to achieve a safe place for everyone. So next, I will explain about the conclusion. The risk assessment process by the business and organizations during this pandemic is wise and organized method to deal with risk. Start by identifying potential loss, exposures, and measuring this loss in terms of frequency and severity. Then, to examine and select the most suitable method to handle the loss exposures. Once the choice is selected, the risk management program should be implemented and monitored. It is carefully controlled, then it can help the organization to reduce the impact of risk to the business during this COVID-19 break. By identifying and tracking the risks will give a lot of benefit to help the organization to improve their business, increase their awareness, and better prevention the spreading of coronavirus. Hence, by following the standard operation procedures SOP seriously and also being sensitive to our environment will bring a better future. The Ministry of Health has designed the SOP to every industry, every market, to every channel to be followed for everyone in order to prevent and reduce the numbers of cases of coronavirus in Malaysia.